Welcome to our presentation about Polish regulations regarding Standard Audit File and our solution SNP JPK. The presenter of this topic is Szymon Chmielewski, our experienced SAP FI consultant. About us in a nutshell. We are proud to be a part of SNP Group, a global leader in transformations of SAP systems. SNP provides unique solutions for such projects as migration to S/4HANA, cloudification, or mergers and acquisition projects. The SNP Crystal Bridge platform and Bluefield approach allow us to perform SAP transformations quickly and safely with near zero downtime in business operations. So if you plan such a project, I think we can help. Don't hesitate to contact us. We have been present in Poland for 25 years now. Before joining the SNP Group, we operated under the name BCC. We are the largest SAP service provider in Poland, ensuring the full range of SAP implementation and managed services. We also support internationals in SAP rollouts to Poland. The Polish legal and tax system is considered to be very complex. SNP adjusts corporate SAP templates to the local business and legal requirements, offering implementation services and training. We also provide many ready-to-run SAP add-ons covering key areas of the Polish legal system, such as Standard Audit File, split payment, whitelist of taxpayers, sugar tax, and so on. And the solution for the Polish Standard Audit File, SNP JPK, is the topic addressed in the presentation. Please reach out to SNP for more details and support. SNP JPK is our answer to the new regulations of Polish Tax Ordinance Act. It is an add-on to SAP system that allows to adjust SAP to the new regulations and optimize the new processes. Now, Szymon will present this topic in more details.
Hello everyone, my name is Szymon Chmielewski. In SNP, I'm a financial consultant and as well as I'm the person responsible for the development of financial products, and one of them is Standard Audit File, which I'm very glad to present it to you today. In this presentation, you will see also the English name, which is the Standard Audit File for tax purposes, and as well the Polish abbreviation JPK, which is in Polish jednolity plik kontrolny. The agenda for the meeting is going to be 5 points, as you can see over here. First, I'm going to introduce you in general to our JPK solution. Later on, I will continue with the newest structure. I will say how to prepare to be able to create this new structure with our solution. Later on, we will do the demo in the system, the test system, and at the very end, I will show you the ability to transfer also from the SAP. Within this presentation, you are going to see also some additional products. The main product is Standard Audit File for tax purposes from SNP, but there is also some supporting products like JPK Transfer Monitor, which helps you to send XML files directly from SAP to Ministry of Finance. There is also Excel for JPK, which helps you to upload the data from external sources. And the third solution, which would like to present it to you today, is also a partner checker solution, which helps you to verify your customers or vendors' VAT numbers, if they are VAT active or not. But this solution also verifies the whitelist in Poland in general. However, in reference to today's presentation, this VAT active will be verified in whitelist for Polish customers and vendor, and in European Union database as well for foreign companies. So let's continue with this. So Standard Audit File for tax purposes from SNP. So first numbers, so it's more than 160 licenses sold, which comes to over 200 implementation, because most of them or some of them, they are group licenses. So there is a lot of companies that using our products. It's also a part of that is a proven solution for our JPK structure, because it was tested and implemented in so many companies, as you could see over here. As SNP, we started from very beginning. So in 2016, Ministry of Finance present their structures, and in 3 months we were ready with the product, and the first implementation were already finalized in 2016. However, since then we are constantly developing our solution to meet the new Ministry of Finance requirements. As well, we are implementing, of course, coding fixes, as well general improvements. For example, I would like to mention here that one of the biggest improvements that we have done in the end of 2018, because a lot of companies during that time had the verification of one of the biggest structures, which is JPK General Ledger, and as well the warehouse structures. Those two structures, they might be very let's say consuming for your system, and we have done a lot of improvements that now our solution is very ready to help you with also the big amount of the data that you have in your systems. In fourth point, that we have also mentioning that there is no interference with the customer substandard. What we mean is that by by our solution, it's completely developed in our namespace. Currently we are SNP Poland, but previously we were a business consulting center, and the abbreviation of that is BCC. So we have also all of our JPK products are in BCC namespace. So you are completely safe when you are importing it to your system. There will be no change in your SAP standard. If there is a need, we are going to do the customizing we will do the customizing of our solution, but not in your standard. That is not needed to be done. But for example, when it comes with the implementation, that at the very beginning we do the analysis of your system, and sometimes it might happen that we recommend to change something in the substandard, in your substandard, rather than do, let's say, overload in our solution or modify our solution just to meet your need. That might, of course, it's every time is clients dependent if they would like to proceed with this change, or we are going to fit to any need, because as I said, we can fit to any customer need with our solution. Our solution is based on our best experience, many rollouts in Poland, and as well as you can see, more than 200 implementation of the solution. So most of the characteristics is already there. We have fulfilled every requirement based on our best experience. But if there is something that is exceptional for you, your customizing is a little bit different that we were thinking, that you are able to use our customizing, because we have also some customizing. If not, then our solution comes with some enhancement points, exits, and so on, then where we can develop any logic if it's needed to fulfill any needs. So,
hello, my name is Szymon Chmielewski. I'm a financial consultant in SAP. I'm also the person responsible for development of financial products. And one of the products is Standard Audit File for tax purposes. In Polish is JPK, which means jednolity plik kontrolny. What is the structure of today's meeting? First of all, we are going to do some briefly overview of the solution. Later we'll focus on the new JPK V7M structure, commonly known as VDEC. We will discuss how to prepare for this change, how SNP can help you to adapt your system or our solution to fulfill all the new requirements. And at the very end, I'm going to show you the availability to send XML files, the JPK files, directly from SAP to Ministry of Finance. Meanwhile, within this presentation, I'm also going to present you some other supporting products, which is Excel for JPK, where you can upload any data to our databases, which later on will create a JPK file. As well, I'm going to show you Partner Checker solution. Partner Checker solution helps you to verify your customers and vendors in two databases for Polish entities. You are going to verify whitelist in Poland. There you can see if your customer vendor is VAT active, suspended, or not even on the list. And also you will see their bank account numbers. You can do automatically the verification of those. For European Union customers and vendors, you can verify them in the separate databases with the information if there is VAT active as well. What we are going to do, okay, so here we go. There is more than 160 licenses sold, which comes to over 200 implementation, because some of those licenses are group licenses. I can see it's a proven solution that we have adapted our solution to so many customers. For now, we can say that we have adapted to any needs to any SAP customizing that our clients have. We are constantly developing our solution since 2016, because as you may know, it's the year when Polish Minister of Finance in Poland, they have introduced this requirement, and since then we are here on the market. We were one of the first companies that helps our clients to fulfill this new requirement. Since then, our solution had a lot of changes. We optimized our solution to, for example, to be able to generate very large XML files to verify a lot of your huge databases, clients' huge databases, and be able to create perfect files. Our solution do not require any change in your SAP standard. During the analysis procedure, what we usually do at the beginning of our products, we might recommend some changes to fulfill Polish requirements. However, we can do some modification to our solution and fulfill this requirement within our solution without any change. Also, I would like to mention here that how you are going to install the product. So from technical point of view, we as SNP, we have our namespace in SAP. So you are going to get transports, and those transports needs to be imported to the system. Any change will be done within our product. Our solution is independent from the system, so it works as well on ECC, Classic SAP, Simple Finance, and the newest version of S/4HANA.
Furthermore, it's independent of the following systems, so you can use it on ECC, Simple Finance, and S/4HANA. We have also dedicated packages for those versions of the SAP. Integration with external solutions. So, for example, if you have any, warehouse solution, or maybe sales invoices solution that you create in an external system, that we can also create some communication with our solution, and we can also upload some data externally from external databases. However, we have also a dedicated solution to upload the data from external systems already there. So our additional product, as I said at the very beginning, is Excel for JPK, so you can easily just use it and upload data from Excel file. And the last point, that we support our clients in case of any problems or controls, because, for example, if you got verification from Minister of Finance, then you might, for example, you would like also our help, and we are very glad to help you. As I have said, we have started development of our product in 2016. It was based on the law which was introduced in Poland in 2015 and in May 2016. And currently there was a change, the new version or new scheme of the VAT is based on the law since last year. However, the final structure was published in 25th of February this year, and the last change was in May. And there was also 2 more changes since then. So as you can see, there was already 3 changes this year. And what is the purpose of the Standard Audit File in Poland? The goal is to enable tax authorities and National Tax Administration to obtain data in an electronic version. As well, the information obtained allows National Tax Administration for faster and more effective verifications. So basically there is 6 structures. There is 2 more, but those 2 are only required for the small entities which usually do not have SAP. And those 6 structures where we have the VAT records, so for purchases and sales, this is needs to be done on monthly basis till 25th of the following month. Accounting books, also called here general ledger. We have also bank statements, warehouses, sales invoices, and as well our invoices, which is from agricultural purchases. Let's see the overview of it. So as I said, there is the VAT one, which is going to be more detailed on the next slides, but the general overview of those 5 structures is over here. Here we have a standard audit file for general ledger. We have 3 parts of this. I will also show you in the demo how it works. We have a trial balance where you see account description, account assignment in reference to Polish model chart of the account, and also opening and closing balances and turnovers. So this is the very basic, as you could see. However, the assignment is very tricky to be done. Later on, we have the journal. So we are going to present a lot of information in general about the document. And in the very most detailed, you will see each line item posted within those documents. So every single line item posted in your system should be presented over here. I will show you also in the demo bank statements. So we have in general account summaries where we have the account number, opening and closing balance, as well as turnovers. So it's very, very similar to trial balance. However, if you're going to open your banking system, electronic banking system, you will see also the same information. If you're going just to download your bank statement, you will see all of this information as well. And in details, we have bank statements line items where we have the amounts, who paid, and when it was paid. Third structure is material, the warehouse structure, where we have once again the general information about the material based on the material document, and each item of this material document. We have to distinguish 4 document types in materials: is goods received, goods issue, internal usage, and internal movement. Then you have the document number, customer or vendor name. It depends if it's goods issue or goods received, invoice number and invoice date. However, those 2 things are not obligatory. Later on, we have in the details of this structure, we have each line item from material documents. So we have materials, units of measure, and also amounts. Later on, we have standard audit file for sales invoices, where we have a document summary. Once again, you see there is a similarity to the other structures. General information, then details information. We have a customer data, the values and taxes. There is some true or false also information required by the Ministry of Finance. For example, if it was self-billing, a triangular deal, and so on. Invoices type, so you have to distinguish standard VAT invoices from corrections and prepayments. Line items level, we have the amounts, units of measure, and the values, so there is very similarity, as you could see. Later on, the new structure which comes to in force last year, we have the invoices from agricultural sales, to be honest, to purchases. So it's from purchases. However, it's self-billing done based on the agricultural purchase. So we have, once again, document summary. So it's vendor data, values and taxes, invoice type, VAT or correction. And what is very important, this one is only required when you use the electronic signature on this invoices. So it's not for typical printed invoices. And later on, we have also the same information, line items, amounts, units of measure, values, and once again, electronic signature for this. Okay, let's continue.
Now we are going to focus on the new structure, JPK V7S structure, commonly known as VDEC. As you can see here, the new structure should be already required in Poland since April for larger entities and for the rest of the entities since 1st of July. However, it was changed because of the COVID crisis, what we have. And we have some changes in law, and for now it's not going to be even in July, as you can see over here, but it is going to be 1st of October. So everything is moved, and we have some more time for the preparation, but there is a lot to do. So I would like not to encourage you to wait till the very end, because maybe some information might be already missing in the system, so you need some more time to be able to be ready for the changes. So the first publication of the new structure of the VAT, of the JPK VAT, was published in the draft version on the very end of last year, and we as SNP, we were already ready to deploy the new structure to our customers in January 2020. We were based our solution on, as you can see, on the draft versions, based on the tax consultation, press releases, and so on. However, Ministry of Finance have already published 3 official versions of the new structure, so it was changed 3 times, and the newest change is from May 8th of May. And we, of course, after 2 weeks, were already able to send the update to our customers, so our customers now have the most up-to-date version of the structure. So what was changed in the new structure, in new VAT structure? I would like to not to say it was evolution. I prefer the word revolution, as you could see here on my presentation. Some fields were added, and however, there is a lot of detailed information required by Ministry of Finance for now. So let's continue. On the header, we have office code, which was missing in the last structure. However, it's in any other structure, it's also required field. We have year and month when we are going to submit of the file. System name is now optional field, it's not required field. Purpose of submission is changed. For now, we had 0 as our first submission to the Ministry of Finance, and from 1 to 999, there was able to change this field for any subsequent correction of the file. And the new field is a telephone number, which is optional. Okay. On the declaration, you are going to see the detailed information from the details that it's not changed so much to the current structure. However, in this declaration, we have also a lot of information that were missing in the current structure. So, for example, if you have any values that needs to be transferred from previous months, the amounts and dates of the payments, and any tax corrections, for example, deductions of the taxes that need to be presented over there. And there is also a legal notice, which in general means that you can get some fiscal penalties if there is some errors in the JPK VAT structure. So this detailed part of the structure, there is some new information required. For example, there is a document type, it's a single choice field. We are going to discuss it in the details on the next slide. There is some goods group code, multiple choice field also will be discussed in the next slide. There's some change with the presentation of the tax identification number. Now it's going to be a prefix separated from the VAT number. There is some change of the mapping. So there is the change in general in the declaration of the VAT declaration. There is address, contractor's address was removed from the structure. And there is new field VAT margin sales. So for example, if you have you are selling some tourist services, you are going to have a VAT margin. So you need to present this value as well. In the purchase, once again, we have document type, the change in the tax identification number, change in the mapping of in declaration, address was removed as well. And also here, if you're going to purchase some margin purchases, so you need to present it as well. What we mean by the document types in new structure is an optional field. So if your document in sales document is not going to be one of those types, so you do not need to present these characteristics. However, if it does, then you need to present it. So for example, we have the first one, it's a invoice connected to the receipt. We have an internal RO, which is an internal summary document containing sales from cash registers, and we have also the internal document types that needs to be presented. Please keep in mind that in previous versions of the structure there was more types, and maybe the structure is going to evolve in the future. What we mean by the goods group code in the new structure. So for example, you have to give these characteristics on your VAT registry if you're going to sell alcoholic beverages, tobacco, you're going to see some waste or electronic devices, vehicles, medicine, and for example, intangible goods services. Separated from the groups codes, which is the multi-choice field, also optional field, you might have also some sales procedures. For example, if you're going to sell something to your related company, you need to also mark this document as TP, which is the transaction with a related company. And the same MPP characteristics, which needs to be marked if it's obligatory split payment on the document. One of the materials sold is under obligatory split payment. So for example, if you are going to sell some electronics, for example, laptops, for a value more than 50,000, for example, to your related company. So this one document is going to have three characteristics needs to be presented in the file. It's going to be electronic devices. It's going to be a sales under sales procedure. This one will related transaction TP, and because this is electronics more than 15,000, this is going to be also should be also presented as obligatory split payment. In purchase, there is a little bit easier. We have only three document types. There is no goods group code required. So there we have invoiced issued by a taxpayer. Yeah, and then we have this invoices from agricultural purchases, and as well, once again, we have internal documents. Now I would like to show you how we as SNP help you to prepare for the upcoming changes. There are three challenges within implementation of the new structures. Substantive, which is the analysis of the transaction taking place in your company. Consultants in SNP, we are familiarized with the new structure as well. We have done a lot of the projects already, which are finalized, and we can help you to go through this new structure, and we can show you how you can proceed with the changes. So we can help you with this analysis procedure, which is always needs to be done at the beginning of the project. The second challenge is the system, because not all of the data is in the system, is stored in the system, or maybe it should be somehow mapped. Yeah. So here we can distinguish also three possibilities. That one of those is that is going to change some changes in the standard of the SAP. For example, we can add some fields on the material level, on the contractor, or even on the documents, for example, financial documents or SD documents. There is also some SAP notes that we can help you to upload to the system, to import to the system, and then there is some new fields, and it's also possible. However, it might be difficult to obtain in case of international system when we have not only Polish entities but also some foreign entities, and this change might not all be so easy to be implemented. The second approach is that our solution can analyze data in any way that we would like to do so. We can adjust our product to extract the data in the right way, and if there is not sufficient information in the system, we are going to store them in some new fields. After the analysis, we are going to show you how you can customize our solution, and this is the recommended way from our perspective. And there is also a third possibility. With help of the external tools, we have already, as I said in the very beginning, we have also already created a solution Excel for JPK, so you can upload any data or just modify the databases in our solution, for example, if you would like to do some small changes. However, it's not recommended for long period of time, maybe only for the transitional period, for example, if you are not going to be ready for the first periods. And the last challenge is the resources. So you have to create a working team that is going to be work on preparation the company for the changes in short period of time. Suggested SNP approach to deal with this new structure, 47M structure, is that to start with the verification of the current system compatibilities and the settings. So it's usually a one-day analysis that needs to be done. We are going to analyze the current setting of the system, how you currently deal with this VAT structure, how you are going to record, what records what information do you have in the system, and what is missing. Based on our experience, we usually encourage people from other departments, not only the accounting department, also people from purchasing and sales department would like nice if they will be taking under consideration for the project, because they may have the information that we are looking for. After the verification of the system, we are going to prepare the system in such a way that the 47M structure is going to be created automatically without any additional manual effort, or it's going to be minimized to the very minimum. Why is that? Because of the frequent corrections. Now it's going to be only 14 days for sending a correction after the occurrence of this correction event. So we are going to send more corrections. So it's very simple. If you are going to have to prepare these files more frequent, then any manual work should be minimized. Lack of this automation in generation process of the 47M structure will put more or additional discipline on the employee, because they will have to present additional characteristics on document level. And in some cases, users does not necessarily have to have sufficient knowledge for correct presentation of the information in the new structure. Later on, we are going to do appropriate customizing of our solution to fulfill your customer needs, or we can also do adjustment of the SAP standard to, for example, to create additional information on material level, customer, vendor, or maybe on accounting document. Then we will move to the testing of our solution. And here we comes with the question how to compare the data reported in the new structure. So for current structure, VAT structure, usually we compare it with the standard VAT register. However, now it's very more information required by the solution. So that's the question, how to verify the data. And the last one is how to take care of the substantive correctness and substantive validation of such file. So usually we can suggest some kind of the validation, or maybe even a substitution that could be implemented. Since March or since February this year, Ministry of Finance allows us to send XML files with the new structure on the testing gateway to the Ministry of Finance. And in next slides, I have also the presentation how our solution works. So it's the last point from our of our presentation here. Later we will go to our system. So I'll also show you this in the system. However, as you can see, it's very simple to send a file from our solution. Here, for example, we have a selection screen. We would like to send some files from April for my company code Y001 in the test mode. Yeah, it's in the test mode. For my user, the production mode is disabled. As you can see here, that there were many files have been sent to the Ministry of Finance, not only the VAT structure, but also the invoices, general ledger, and all of the structure could be sent. It is very simple to send the file. You just need to follow the 4 steps. Check XML and prepare it. Start signature procedure, then send it to the Ministry of Finance, and at the very end, this 4th step, get UPO. UPO is the confirmation sent from Ministry of Finance that everything is fine and you have sent the file to the Ministry of Finance. As you can see here, there is some files. Here we have the status, detailed some information, whom, when was the validation done, who prepared it, and so on. So it's very simple. I will show you that in detail also in the system. Here I have some selected questions regarding false evidence transactions. While we are going to implement our solution, we are also going to focus on those 2 points. The main one is the corrections. So for current period, when you use the old structure, the first structure of the VAT, the corrections for this period should also be sent with this structure. Since October this year, you are going to use the new false evidence structure, and corrections for periods after October, after September, will be done on the new structure. And one more, which is very important but usually missed, that goods and services marks should be used only on the documents, on the sales documents, not on the reverse charge documents, as you could see as a sample over here. Let's go to the system. Now we'll do presentation in the system, in our demo system. As you can see, that our solution is developed in our namespace, as I said at the beginning of the presentation. Currently, we are SNP. However, previous to that, we were a business consulting center, so our JPK solution is created in BCC namespace. So the starting package, starting transports with the solution is not going to change anything in your system, so it's completely safe to be imported. It's just a report, so we are not going to post anything and change any of this, customizing in the standard or put something in the SAP standard tables. Everything which is, we are going just to retrieve the data from the system, extract, and then present it. So there is a lot of transactions, as you could see here, but we are going to focus today now on the main one, which is the JPK transaction. Our solution is able to be used both in Polish as well as in English. You can create all of the required structure by the Ministry of Finance. We have general ledger accounts, bank statement, warehouses, VAT register, which is the current structure, invoices, VAT, V7M structure, the new one, which is we are going to put the most focus on it, and invoices RR. On the very top of the application, you have the about application, so you see the current version. You can go to the manuals, check for the updates or similar products. Usually we send an update if it's required to update our solution. We send an emails with the reminders and the starting package. Everything is also available on our website. Yeah, so I'm going to use some variant I have already created. It's from webinars. Yeah, here we go. We are going to use a little bit more years because it's my testing system interested in so many data here. So I'm going to do the selection based on the tax reporting date. You can do also this verification based on the posting date, document date, maybe for setting your own reports that you would like to see. You can delete, cancel documents, or just you can just remove them. You can do separately sales and purchases. Usually, if there is not so many documents in the system, you can do on the one who run both parts of the structure. You can limit it to the document type. You can automatically change sign for the tax due. Here we have all the fields in the declaration. You have to map them to proper field in the declaration. As I said, some mappings have been changed with the new structures. For example, purchases of fixed assets, it's now starting with number 40, for example. Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to execute the transaction. Maybe now I will just go once back. There is a possibility, of course, to create a correction of the document. However, I would like to say some more about those three possibilities, or maybe four even. First one is the extraction of the data from the system. On the next screen, you are going to see the data extracted from the system based on the selection screen, of course. Then you can also save it to our internal databases. So you can later on go to the database files. You can just simply open it. You can also use our archive solutions. So you can, if there is a lot of databases, you can just simply archive them and then read data from archives. We have implemented also in our solution with data address log analysis. So for example, if your customer have changed master data, for example, name or maybe address, you can just simply mark it, and some of the documents will have the old name of the company, and the newer documents will have up-to-date data. However, it's up to the clients if they would like to use it or not. Now I'm going to execute it. As you can see on the very top, there is already some company code data. There is some text information, whom, when, what it was created. You can simply save it to the database. You can extract file. You can do this archiving, log information. Log is only top of it because everything else is closed for modification. You can see what was done on the database. So it was the analysis, it was blocked and unblocked. You can, of course, do the validation. As you could see, some documents, here we see the year and the document number have some missing field. This missing field is the invoice number. Usually we are taking the invoice number from reference. So we are going to see here. Yep. We just go for the validation once back. I need to give here a couple of seconds. There is a lot of data. So for example, just going to copy this number. And you will see that this document will have missing invoice number, as you can see here. So there is two line items here because it's some kind of the reverse charge tax got used. So in both ways, it will be required. Also in sales as well in purchases, the invoice number will be required field, and this is what we see in the validation. However, we have implemented in our solution something which is called the default values. So if you are going to create, you are going to just say, okay, it's fine, we are fine with this error, and you are going to create this XML file, then it will simply be our solution will use default values. In this case, it's going to be the word back. You can merge some databases. You can use also, of course, our Excel for JPK solution. So for example, here I have some. Yep, maybe I'll use this one. Let's just give it a try. Yeah. So one line item have been added, for example. Now, I have done some changes, so the solution remarks I should also update the declaration, but I can, of course, once again here import some more data. So as you could see, some documents have been added, one document was deleted, and some documents have been changed. So first of all, I have done the extraction from the system. Later on, I have done some modification based on Excel for JPK solution. Except for JPK solution, I will show you that in the moment. Yeah. What I have done some changes. So as in the last column, as you could see, there are some status, for example. I will just show you 4 status. I have added some documents. Yeah, I have added 4 documents. So you can see here that those documents have been added via this external solution. So it's not directly from the system. And I have also modified some documents. Here you will see also the change status on those documents. So you can simply know what was directly from the system and what was changed by our external solution. But let's put more focus on the base one, on the basic of our solution. Here you have the company code, here document number. You can just simply go to this document. Then you have the line item. This is tax line items. Tax type, 1 is for output tax, 2 is for input tax. Then you have the tax code, on which account it was posted, on which side, debit or credit. Then you have the tax base amount, taxes amounts. Based on the selection screen, we have mapping to proper field in the declaration. You have the invoice number, posting date, document date of sale, date of purchase, insertion date, and date of the receipt. For example, this is a very nice date that we can put some more focus now. During our analysis procedure, we usually asking how you would like to present those data, because it might be different based on the customizing. And for example, this receipt date for the incoming invoices, usually it is for the most of the companies here in Poland, we would recommend to activate, for example, activate a dedicated field, for example. Yep, there is a possible, there is exactly this field to be activated on the financial document. However, you can also put, for example, create a mapping as VAT date. In 99%, clients are saying that they are just fine with it, and maybe this 1% they will store this information in some different place, or maybe use this Excel for JPK solution. And we are glad also to create this kind of mapping. Then we have the customer vendor. You can of course go to their master data. Here we have some VAT numbers. In case there is a missing VAT number, it's going to be this word brak. Then we have the markup based correction. If there is, for example, you would like to change, you have the possibility to do a correction of your input tax. For example, there is a late document more than 90 days. We have a sales document type, some purchase document types. We have this on the top. There is something more. Here we have this groups and services marks. For example, this document, as you could see, there is a lot of marks already assigned to it. Then we have this sales procedures, and at the very end we have, of course, also the split payment marks, and for example some import. How our solution and this structure could be customized. Maybe let's, as you can see here, for example, here we have a sales document type, markup as internal document. You can just use our help. This is an internal document. Yeah, so let's just take a look on this, maybe how it was just simply mapped. We have our customizing solution transaction. In the new, it's going to be opened in the new window. Yeah. Here we have my company code. And here I have the determination how it is going to be mapped in the system. Yep, here we go. So we would like not to see groups and services, but marks, but we would like to see sales document type. Sales document type could be mapped on on many cases. If there is my solution is customized in this way, then it means that it could be marked if there is, for example, some FI document specified. It could be also marked if there is some text put it in the line item, in the reference, or maybe some general ledger account exists on this document. So this is the possibilities. Maybe I would like to check first of all what is this document is. Okay. It will be more simple if we just go through this. I'm just going to remove those. I'm just going to remove those. I'm going to save it. So now only the mapping possible is for internal documents is based on FI document type. Here we have some defined fields. So you can do your mapping based on the FI document type, SD document type, customers, vendor, material, taxes, some characteristics based on material level, and of course a payment method, for example, for split payment. We had a document definition here, it was used this one. We have created this group assigned as an internal value. And here we have a document type SA will be just presented as internal documents. So I'm going back. Here I'm going just to simply run once again this transaction. And if I'm going to do a selection based on SA document type, maybe there will be something. Yeah. As you can see, only those 3 documents. There is a output tax, so this is only required for sales side of it's only required field in this case for input taxes, output, sorry for that. And here we have this information, as you could see. Yep. So it's only here, it's internal document. Here, as you could see, there we have some other information based on the purchase document types. Here we have a VAT error marks. Yep. Invoice mentioned in this article, so it's from agricultural purchases. And let's just check it out how it was customized. If you go to purchase document type, you can just simply see that it was also a lot of information is possible. Yeah. This one will be just simply could be erased because it's not doing anything completely. So there is 2 possibilities. That one of this is that this document type was posted by this group of FI documents and it was posted on this customer. So maybe just let's take a look on this. FI001 and K001. Yeah, customer FI document. Yeah, here we have some group created. The value mapped for this, it's, to be honest, any document type. So it's here I have a group that any document type is within it. However, there is a second thing that is required to be mapped. So we had a customer, and I don't remember this here. Here we go. K001. Check it out. Yeah, so it's those customers should be within it. So there is a lot of ranges that we are able to be marked as those, and this one is within it, this range. So it's, yeah, so it was marked simply as this invoice. I would like to show you also some other modifications that could be easily done. Maybe let's go to this material groups. Here you can see that some of those are based on material group, and I have some of my favorite documents here. Delete this filter. And those documents are my favorite from 2017. As you could see. As you could see, there are also marked as some group alcoholic beverages, for example, this one. And twice what was marked like this. This is a document created in SD model. As you could see, I'm just going to simply go to original document. Here we have a material. It's just testing environment. So as you can see, this is no alcoholic beverages, so it's not should be GTU01. This is just test case. So we have a material here, and it was marked as GTU01, so it was one of those, and it's probably this material document. If you go simply here, material, and yes, this material was mapped as GTU01. And another case we will have within another document. For example, this one, GTU06. If we go here, original document, we have some electronical stuff, and was different material used. And in our mapping, we have this one, electronics. This is this material, and this group of materials, M8T02, was probably mapped to GTU06. So it's correct. Okay. So it's completely fine with this. So this is how our basics of our solution works. You can also put, for example, some manual information if you like to do also this possibility. So you can go to additional fields. We have already some fields created. For example, in header of the document, you can store there some information. Sometimes I have to just take it, go to group definitions, and for example, text as the GTU01. Group values. So the system is going to take a look on this pattern, and if this pattern is going to be stored in the document, then it could be also assigned as GTU01. Let's just take a look if this GTU01 is also assigned to do the proper mapping. And here we have the GTU01 over here, over here, over here. And yes, header text it was mapped. So we can go here, for example. We can go to very first documents just to be easy for us to take a look on this. And this document, as you could see, there is no GTU01 over here. Yep. And it's very first document. I'm just going to do modification on it. Yep. So I'm just going to add this information. This is this document here. And as you could see, GTO01 is now marked. You can do it simply with any marks this way manually, of course, as well. It is not recommended, but it's possible. Here we have a new button possible, that is VAT declaration. Here we have this legal notice, which I was saying at the very beginning, maybe not very beginning, but in the middle of the presentation. Here we have some summary based on the output taxes, input taxes also. There is a surplus amount from the previous declaration. It will be proposed by the system if you're going to month by month. Here you have some deductions. You can adjust them manually. Also the deductions, here we have some input tax surplus over the output taxes. You can say, okay, I would like to have 30,000 get refund on my VAT account, on my billing account, and so on. You can say that, okay, I'm going to use it for the future tax liabilities in the amount of 10,000, and it's going to be for corporate income tax. You have to, because we have done some changes based on the Excel file, so you have to recalculate values. Yeah. Okay. I haven't done any changes because it was new. Save. Yes, I will then save this. So I'm going to just upload some data. For example, from this one, it was more test cases. So I have uploaded. I have changed some data. Yes. So now it remarks me that I should regenerate it. What I'm going just now to do, calculate values, and the value is now changed. And calculate sums. So everything is just fine. Additional information, if you have done anything of those, just simply say yes, I have done those. Base corrections, if you had some, put it information over here. If you like to say what is the correction reason, so you have to just type it here over here, JPK correction, and now you have 3,500 characters to be used. You just simply go back, save it, go back, and this is it. This is the VAT declaration. Now let's quickly go to the other structure. Another structure I would like to present to you is a bank statement, for example. Here I'm going to use read data from database. Here I had some database created, yep, from January this year. Here we have the general information about your bank account, your currency, opening balance, closing balance, and debit and credits. We have retrieved it from, for example, from electronic bank statements. However, we can also adapt our solution to be based on general ledger accounts, for example. You can go to the positions to see details on the based on the which is created, the details which you have. You can see also them in the bank statement. So, for example, just double click on this. Here we have your house bank, ID account, company code, bank statement, statement number if you use this electronic bank statement, statement date, posting date, document number. You can just simply, of course, go to it. Let's just go to it. As you can see, it's some of my internal cash transfer. So as a partner name, we have our company code name here presented. However, in this case, as you could see, for example, here we have not the Ministry of Finance, but it is tax authority. And here we have a tax authority account. So this is just simply a partner name also changed. And for example, here we have the customer vendor, and in this case, probably it was some posting directly done to the customer vendor account. This is why we have this is done directly to the vendor account. So you can simply see a partner name. It was not my company. Was not done to the tax authority, but it's a partner name of this vendor. And one more field for something very long, it's posting information that was some outflow of your money, or it's some VAT, for example, payment, or it was just outgoing payment. Basically, this is it. And everything. This is the same information that you have in your electronic bank statement, but put it in the correct required by the Ministry of Finance way. And the last structure, let's go to the general ledger accounts. I'm also going to use here my database. You just limit it to the time. Here we go. First screen is very detailed trial balance. Yep. We have a general ledger account name, then we have the classification, if it's a balance statement, P&L account, if it's a reconciliation account, or maybe it's some out of balance account. Here we have some sample mapping done. It's not completely true, but it was mapped like this in my testing system. It's group code, group description, category code, category description. Those two columns are not required by the Ministry of Finance. It's optional fields. So you can simply map just one account to your proper group descriptions and group codes. Here you have opening balance information. It was opening balance on the financial year, opening balance of the period that I have done this structure, and opening balance which will be represented in the XML file. Then we have debits, credits, postings, cumulative values, and of course the balance. If I just double click on the line items, I'm going to see every single posting done on this account, but I can go back and I can see all of the positions, so all of the posting done within this period. And over here we have not the accounts. You cannot go to the accounts, but you can, for example, go to the line items, to the documents. Here we have a journal number, journal description, evidence number, document types, operation date, document date, posting date. And for example, as we have stopped on the receipt date of the invoice in the VAT structure, here we can stop here on the operation date, because operation date, it's not always, for example, a document date, but for the sales document, it's going to be a sales date. For purchase documents, it's going to be a purchase date. And for bank statements, usually it's a bank statement date. So it depends what we are presenting here. Here you also present who done the posting, what was operation description, total value of the document. And if I'm going to take a look on some postings, maybe on the customers or vendors, if we're going to take a look on those, let me take a look. Okay. Here we have some documents. And I'm just going to take a look on this document. As you can see, it's a very simple document. It has only 2 line items. Those 2 line items are presented here. Here we have a total value of the document. Here we have debit side. Here we have a credit side, on which account it was posted, what was the posting text, and also the amounts in the currency are presented as well. Here we have the currency. And this is it about our JPK general ledger structure. And what else I would like to present to you is that our solution that I was talking about, so the Excel for JPK. So here we go to Here we have Excel for JPK. You can just simply see what was imported to the system regarding, for example, this structure. For my company code, within this period, we have some Excel uploaded to the system. Probably there will be 4 of them. Yes, there are 4 of them. Using, well, while we were in main transaction here, as you remember, I have used this one, use this variant. And as you remember, I have downloaded some documents, for example. This one, test Excel for JPK. Some documents were added, one was deleted, some documents were changed. Okay, so it's fine. And here we see only these 3 activated databases. They were able to be uploaded. And I have uploaded this one, test Excel for JPK. And here we can see the details of what was imported to the system. Yeah. If the document does not exist in the system, then they will simply just not be changed. Yes, they will be not existing in the system, but 3 documents were added, 1 was deleted, and the rest, if they're existing in this database, they were changed. So you can simply just upload it to the system. As you can see, the structure of the Excel file that needs to be imported is the same as the structure of this of the main structure. Okay, here we go. Just back once again. Another thing that I have also presented on the presentation, but let's go through this. I'm going to use some more periods. My user is not able to send anything in production. I also do not have an electronic signature with me. Here we have the information where documents are stored. I'm just going to simply run the transaction. You can see all of the files that we were sending to the Ministry of Finance. You can see who was the author of the file, who done the validation, who done the preparation, and also who sent it to the Ministry of Finance and what was their reference number from Ministry of Finance over here. So this is very simple in the one screen. As I said, you can just simply click on the line that you would like to send. You go to prepare it, start signature, send to the Ministry of Finance, get UPO, confirmation from Ministry of Finance, and for example, this one, if all of the steps are just fine, you can show UPO. Here I have some my German printer, so it's going to be missing Polish characters, but I'm going to be fine with this. And here we have this UPO from the Ministry of Finance. Yep. And the last thing, as I said, is going to be a partner checker solution here. A partner checker solution helps you to verify your customers' vendor if they are VAT active, both in the whitelist as well in European Union databases. I'm not going to go very in details what you can do here. You can do a lot of verification, but this is a presentation of the JPK, so you can just simply go select a JPK file to be verified. I'm going to simply double click on this. I'm going to show, okay, this one I would like to be verified, this document. Yes, I'm going to show. And here we have the output information, so you can see my whitelist verification. Yeah, double click on this. As you can see, there is a 1,800 verification done, so lots of them. So here we have a VAT number. If it was sent to the European Union database, or it was sent to the whitelist, so you can simply that is exempt from taxes. it was not active, this number was not found in the whitelist database, for example. But there is a lot of those. Yeah. If we can just simply take a look at those. Yeah. So here you have a KRS number, wagon number. Here you have when it was verified, by whom. There is no existing data in the database, so the bank accounts for these vendors are not presented. But let's take, here we have someone. This is tax exempt, but have some bank accounts in the whitelist. So you can see simply, yes, I do not have created those customers vendors. So those are here we have just information that there is no bank account in the system. Here we have the whitelist request ID. Yeah. And if it was a customer vendor from my system, then we will see also an information about this. You can go simply to the master data. Let's go back to my presentation. Yeah, just to sum up everything what was presented today, how our project works with this new structure for 7 abstraction. So first of all, we do the system analysis and design the development. So we have a blueprint, a concept, how we would like to do adjustments in our solution, how your system works, and so on. And there is a phase of the implementation where we do appropriate configuration of our solution. Then we have some internal tests. If everything is fine, we go to the training session and the testing with the customer. And at the very end, there is a go live. Thank you for the meeting and have a good day.